Hi again, this is Jacob Allen. I'm going to present about my school, which is McLean Community High School. McLean is located in Lakewood, Colorado. It is a suburb of Denver. As you can see here, it is a 88% white background and then a mix of different backgrounds just all down the line. As you can see, Lakewood's population is currently 154,000. Overall median age is 38 and a half, which seems pretty right for what I know. Pretty young population in the area. As far as our customs and traditions at our school go, the main thing is that all students are welcome, and students know this. It's on the homepage of our website. I would have imported more images, but my computer is having some difficulties. The next thing I wanted to mention was that we're a choice school, which means that students choose to come to us. They still have their own home high school that they can go back to, but since we are actually an alternative school by the traditional standards of naming us, but choice school gives us a couple options. It lets us create our own attendance policy and our own grading policy that students have to meet, otherwise they will return to their home high school. We are very active in the community. We take lots of field trips. The electives that our teachers teach promote healthy lifestyles. Change is very welcome by everyone, meaning students, teachers, principals are all about how can we continue to get better. One of the things that just speaks to the change is welcome is that the teachers make their schedules. As far as our population in the school goes, we are serving on 9 through 12. We have 14 to whatever age wants to come and finish their high school degree, being an alternative school. We are mostly male. We're 56% male, 44% female, and it isn't uncommon for us to have transgender students as well. Our population's growing just in general, and we collect students from further and further away. As far as our makeup, we've got 68% white, 25% Hispanic, and 7% other. The major communication channels my personal school uses is we have our own internet site, we have a Facebook page, we have a newsletter that gets sent out weekly, emails go to parents all the time, and then we have a phone tree and an auto call that alerts parents when things like our snow days come up or when school's canceled for various reasons. Most of the communication for each program comes from teachers, so if there's a program-specific event, teachers will let the parents know. We get very few EDL students through our campus, which is kind of shocking to me since we have, again, 25% Hispanic and 7% other. You would expect us to get some, but we have maybe 1 or 2 English language learning students a year. But as far as most people in our area, they get their information like most of us, which is from internet or from the phone calls in the district. I'm going to share more about our community groups on the following slide. But as far as our varying influences, policy, curriculum, textbooks, all coming from above, we do operate out of the Jeffco School District. And I do have more information later on about the cost, taxes, referenda, and a bill that was recently passed. As far as our known leadership goes, our superintendent is Dr. Jason Glass. Our school site director is Christopher Shue. Principal is Gavin Goodrich. My personal program principal is Gail Martinez. And as far as the structure work, it's top down. I have seen all these person in general at our building, which leads me into our next slide. But our leaders have been quite constant in our building, and they're trying to be as transparent as possible. Recently, we've had lots of fluctuating leaders in our group. Our achievement director was reassigned to us, and then our principal staff was actually all removed last year. So it has made for some interesting dynamic changes at our school. And then the leaders that were removed were because they were not including staff with all the decisions they were making and talking behind the backs of staff. And of course, as most educators know, we have public access to any communications that happen through school email, and that's what got our previous administration in trouble. As far as our economic conditions go, the biggest things in Denver, of course, as many of you probably know, is tourism. We do have Denver Tech Center is rapidly increasing our population as well. That is just the tech center of Denver. It's supposed to supposedly compete with the top in the country. And then following that is construction, because the population is growing so much, lots of things are being built. And same along with that following slide. The average house cost is $395,000 in Denver. And then as far as our district building goes, it is a very large building. It is about a skyscraper. It's about 50 floors tall, our district building. As far as the state goes and the political structure is, Colorado is a very liberal state. Education's back pretty well. Just recently, we passed two bills, which were the 5A and 5B, which brought in over 500. I don't think that was to say billion. I think the correction there would be $1 million to our district to increase teacher pay, because my district is a little bit lower than the surrounding districts, and to make building upgrades and changes as needed. The next thing in my slide is we don't have a lot of interracial confrontation, being that we're not that diverse, but again, our students are pretty accepting of each other. As far as gangs go, we have very little gang activity. We hear about it here and there, but not enough to affect our school. We're on the wrong side of town, where it's not really the gang-affiliated side of town. Again, as far as cliques go, it's not really an issue at our school. Students all kind of get along. We have very small programs. My personal program is only about 150 students. So they all know each other for the better or for the worse. But again, they put up with each other in those worses because they all know they all have something that others put up with them for. And again, not really discrimination, because we've got small class size. And then all learners belong is just kind of our common thing at the school. As far as our power structures go, we do have principals council each week where team leads attend only. And then our team meetings also happen weekly to discuss student concerns and program functions. So team leaders go from our team meetings to the principals council, where they hear all building types going on. As far as our multicultural issues, I think we might be doing a disservice to our Hispanic students. We don't do anything extra to acknowledge our Hispanic students, just meaning not celebrating maybe some Hispanic holidays traditionally, but I think there could be more done in that sense. As far as we are weaving culture into our school, we celebrate Thanksgiving each year. And then the other kind of different thing about our school is that hats are allowed at our school, which definitely brings some interesting hats to the school, but it lets students express who they are, I think. And then the last thing, not last thing, but near the end, measuring the public opinion of our school. People don't attend our school or have a student that attends our school think our school is full of bad kids. Often people ask me, "Oh, you teach at McLean?" And I have to explain to them, these are still human beings that are at my school and not monsters. And then as far as anyone who actually has students at our school or who teaches at the school or has interactions with the school, they very positive opinion of it. Last year we did our public survey to parents and students, found out that we needed more public transportation and more opportunities for parents to get involved. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you for watching.